Out of some 70 students, who have only 8 members joined, 9. And again you start asking me what is the portion? I don't know. All of you have seen the weekend portion? Hello? That is the syllabus for weekend exam. Hello? Now today I want to look at this 13th group very quickly and very briefly. Should we look at or any other thing you want me to do? Hello? 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 NS to NP1 is the configuration of 30th group. NS to NP2 is the configuration of 14th group in the valence shell. This is actually P block, first group, second group. Now, if I am looking at boron, N value is 2. For aluminum and silicon, N value is 3. For gallium and germanium, N value is 4, 5, 6. It means the configuration of boron is 2s to 2p1. Carbon is 2s to 2p2. Aluminum is 3s to 3p1. And silicon is 3s to 3p2. Gallium is 4s to 4p1. Germanium is 4s to 4p2. Indium is 4s to 4p1. I mean 5s to 5p1. Tin is 5s to 5p2. Thallium is 6s to 6p1. Lead is 6s to 6p2. Notice this is S2 electrons. These are p1 electrons. Whereas if I am looking at the 14th group, Ns2 electrons and Np2 electrons, you will notice that they have two unpaired electrons. They have one unpaired electron in the valence shell. This is 13th group, this is 14th. Generally, if you are looking at the number of bonds formed by an atom, is usually equal to number of unpaired electrons in valence shell, number of unpaired valence electrons. If you consider the number of unpaired valence electrons, how many it has, sir? How many it has? The boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium. They have how many unpaired electrons in the valence shell, sir? The boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium have only one unpaired electron. Yes or no? Hello? Hello? The boron, aluminum, gallium and indium, they have how many unpaired electrons in valence shell? How many? They have how many, sir? They have just one unpaired electron. If I am looking at a carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, how many unpaired electrons these elements have, sir? How many unpaired they have? They have two unpaired electrons. So how many bonds do you expect boron aluminum members to make? Number of bonds is equal to number of unpaired valence electrons. So boron aluminum is expected to make only one bond. Carbon silicon family is expected to make two bonds. Normal state. Yes or no? Hello? Hello, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Now, am I very clear about my message? Usually, number of bonds formed by an atom is equal to number of unpaired electrons it has in the valence shell. Boron aluminum family members have only one unpaired electrons, whereas the carbon silicon members have two unpaired electrons. So we expect them to make one bond, we expect them to make two bonds. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is true for thallium and true for lead. Because these s electrons, that is 6s2 in case of thallium, 6s2 in case of lead, are not willing to involve in bonding. This inability, I would say, this reluctance of valence 6s electrons to involve in bonding is Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me? What happened is power gone. Therefore, I am operating my mobile. Am I able to you? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
So I was talking to you. The electronic configuration of 13 group elements was like, was not able to use the whiteboard. So, okay. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the. Hello.
Yes, sir.
The problem is I'm not able to use the board. Don't know what happened. Maybe internet is not sufficient. Or it's not
Sir, your
operating.
voice is cracking in bits, sir.
Yeah, it's very weak, it seems, because the power has gone. I am trying to operate through my mobile. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Let's try to improve. I am not even able to
Sir,
operate
your
the
voice is
mobile.
not audible, sir, properly. Can we
No
continue in the
power, no
evening?
power. This is mobile. I have to do one thing. I enter and I try to enter through my mobile itself then. Because the hotspot. Hello, is it better now? Yes. Is it better now? Hello.
No, sir.
What to do? Today I have
We
rectified
will
the
continue
internet.
later, sir.
Power has gone. What should do, man? Something.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Yeah. No power, man. Just no power here.
It is not clear, so not able to understand.
Sir, we'll
Please wait, please
continue
wait,
in the
please wait.
evening or else.
Please wait. Hello, please wait, man. Power may come. Please wait.
Sir, you are on mute, sir. Can't
Hello. Hello, 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 hello.
बहुत ज्यादा इंटरफेयर है अभी खराब हो गया यार यार
आवाज आ रही
Hello, all of you. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me, sir?
Yes, sir. We are able to.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, just now we could get the power. Very good. So now, let me switch on the AC also. Why not?
And yes, sir.
Now, we were wondering that the carbon, who is talking? Boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium are 13th group elements. Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead were 14th group elements. The 13th and 14th group elements are there in P block. Group, 16th group, 17th group, 18th group in P block. About these groups you study in 12th class. The red color, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and astatine, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. About these elements you study in 12th class. Now we are studying only these two groups. So for your weekend portion is these two groups.
P block elements, sir.
That is P block elements. I want you to read the 13th group today, complete it. You put 3 hours effort. Read it, you can ask me million doubts tomorrow, day after tomorrow. But definitely you have to complete these two groups in this week. This completes the inorganic part. So again we go to organic. Like that, till your exam, we will be oscillating between organic and inorganic. Okay. Now, there is a second wave of corona, it seems. People are dying, it seems. So I want you to be very careful while you are going out. Okay. Keep your masks intact. Don't be careless. Okay. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, in light of this, Government of Telangana is going to make some announcements today. Let us cooperate till we complete vaccination. Okay. Now, I am looking at the electronic configuration of these elements of the boron, carbon are there in the second period. Aluminum, silicon are there in third period. Gallium and germanium are in fourth period. Indium and tin are there in fifth period. Thallium and lead are there in sixth period. These elements, because they are in 13th group, they have 3 electrons in the valence shell. 14th group elements have 4 electrons in the valence shell. Valence shell is shell number 2 for boron, carbon. It is 3 for aluminum, silicon, 4 for gallium, germanium, so on. So the electronic configuration of boron is 2s2, 2p1, whereas for carbon is 2s2, 2p2. For aluminum, it is 3s2, 3p1, and it is 3s2, 3p2. 4s2, 4p1, 4s2, 4p2. 5s2, 5p1, 5s2, 5p2. 6s2, 6p1, 6s2, 6p2. If I look at these configurations, ns2, np1, that is 13th group. ns2,
NP1, sir. NP.
np2 is for 14th group. Normally, the number of bonds formed by an atom, generally, number of bonds formed by an atom is equal to number of unpaired electrons in valence shell. Based on this logic, the 13th group elements, boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium, they have how many unpaired electrons, sir? Are you attending me carefully? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Number of bonds formed by any atom is usually equal to number of unpaired electrons in valence shell. for boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium, how many unpaired electrons are there in valence shell? How many are there?
One.
How many are there?
One only, sir.
Therefore, thallium is definitely showing only +1 state. That only one electron it is using. It is not at all using these 6s electrons for bonding. If I am looking at carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead, they have Ns to Np2 configuration. So how many unpaired electrons they have?
2.
Therefore, lead is showing only valency 2, which is very stable. The lead and the thallium are not using 6s 2 electrons for bonding. The reluctance of
NS2 electron.
six s2 electrons to involve in bonding is called
Inert pair effect.
inert pair effect. Due to inert pair effect, the 6s2 electrons are not involved in bonding. So thallium prefers +1 state. Lead prefers
+2.
+2 state. Only. In case of all other elements, what happens is this. In case of all other elements, this Ns2 electron opens up. It just goes here. It gets excited to a Np orbital. In case of 14 group elements, this electron from the Ns2 electron pair jumps into Np orbital. Thereby, the number of unpaired electrons increases to 3. The probable valence of all other boron, aluminum, gallium, indium is 3. Similarly, the probable valence of carbon, silicon, germanium, tin is 4. Can you see clearly?
Yes, sir.
Notice only the last element, namely thallium and lead, are not showing the higher valency of group. The thallium is not preferring +3. The lead is not preferring +4 due to inert pair effect. There can be 10 questions on this inert pair effect. First question. TlCl3 is unstable, AlCl3 is stable. TlCl exists. AlCl does not exist. Tl+3 readily gains 2 electrons to give Tl+, whereas Al+3 never gains 2 electrons to give Al+. What could be the reason for all these facts? The inert pair effect. Anybody who is gaining 2 electrons is called a oxidizing agent. Tl+3 is an oxidizing agent, but Al+3 is not an oxidizing agent. Tl+3 is an oxidizing agent. Al+3 is not an oxidizing agent. Similarly, SnCl2 is very less stable. It readily becomes SnCl4 by losing 2 electrons. Can we see? Whereas PbCl2 is not interested to become PbCl2. In other words, Sn+2 can readily lose 2 electrons to become Sn plus 4. It is a reducing agent. Pb plus 2 never prefers to give this reaction. Not a reducing agent.
Reducing.
In other words, if you forcefully make Pb plus 4, it allows to take 2 electrons urgently to become Pb plus 2. If you make Sn plus 4, it is not liking to take 2 electrons to become Sn plus 2. Anybody who gains electrons is called oxidizing agent. It is not a oxidizing agent. Now you can see 6 questions. Why SnCl2 is readily converted to SnCl4 but not PbCl2 to PbCl4? Why Sn plus 2 is a reducing agent? Why Pb plus 2 is not a reducing agent? Why Pb plus 4 is a oxidizing agent? Why Sn plus 4 is not a oxidizing agent? Answer to all these questions is inert, pair, effect. Are we clear about it, sir?
Clear, sir.
Next question. If I am looking at the electrode potentials of these family members of boron aluminum family, all the first 4 elements have negative reduction potentials. Only thallium has positive reduction potential. What do you mean by reduction potential, sir? Suppose if you take M plus 2 ions in aqueous solution, how nicely they take 2 electrons to become M. This ability of a dipositive or a fellow, a species, it can be a metal ion, it can be a non-metal ion, it can be anybody. The ability of a species to gain electrons is measured in terms of reduction potential. Because gaining electrons is called reduction. What potential you have? A positive reduction potential indicates this fellow is interested to gain electrons and it wants to remain in electron-rich state. It is not interested to lose electrons. However, if the SRP is negative, it means this fellow is not interested to gain electrons. Instead, the element is liking to lose electrons. Negative reduction potential means they are electron losers. Electron losers are called reducing agents. Positive electrode potential means this fellow is not a reducing agent. In fact, its positive ion is an electron gainer. It can be an oxidizing agent. In the boron aluminum family, boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, they have negative electrode potentials, indicating they all can lose electrons. They are all reducing agents. Whereas thallium has a positive reduction potential, indicating that it is not an electron loser. If I look at the values, it is minus 0.5, it is minus 1.66, it is say minus 0.8, it is minus 0.9, something like that values are there. Now, which is the best loser of electrons?
Aluminium.
Aluminum is the most powerful reducing agent in the 30th group. If somebody is losing electrons very readily, urgently it can combine with oxygen of air to become a positively charged ion in combined state with oxygen. Iron can readily combine with oxygen of air to give Fe2O3. Why iron is readily becoming ferric oxide by losing electrons? Because oxygen is gaining electrons, iron is losing electrons. Why like that? It is so because iron has negative standard reduction potential. This large negative SRP makes it lose electrons to oxygen and to become rust. Now, if you are looking at the reduction potential values of iron and aluminum, Aluminum is more negative. So iron and aluminum, which is likely to get rusted more easily,
Aluminium.
iron SRP is just minus 0.44, whereas aluminum is minus 1.66 volts. So which is likely to be rusted readily?
Aluminium.
But aluminum never undergo rusting like iron. Why like that?
Sir,
The
because
reason is aluminum metal, no doubt it is the best loser of electrons, but when placed in air, urgently makes a thin layer of aluminum oxide around it. Like when you take a Covishield vaccine or you take a Covaxin, your body will make a shield of antibodies because they prick the body and they tempt the body to make the antibodies. There will be so many antibodies in your body after this vaccination. Even if a real coronavirus comes, because your body is so prepared to kill the virus, it will immediately kill the external virus. So the vaccination is a scheme where you are trying to protect you using your own immune system by
Did you take vaccine?
giving a spark, by giving a start reaction to make antibodies is given in your body. Your body itself will prepare the defense. Covaxin is made by taking original coronavirus and killing it and injecting the dead bodies of virus. Whereas Covishield is made by taking the chimpanzee DNA and they modify the DNA to make a spike-like spike protein of your coronavirus. And when that is introduced into body, your body will also generate antibodies to kill whomsoever has spike. Because the coronavirus has spike, your body will have antibodies that can kill them. That is slightly different mechanism. Covishield is most advanced technology of DNA, whereas Covaxin is very old technology. But surprisingly, Covaxin is doing better. Oh, both are okay. Okay, I am not competent to comment on vaccines, but I have an outline idea. So anyway, like Covishield, aluminum is making a shield of aluminum oxide around it. It is called a protective layer. Due to the formation of a protective aluminum oxide layer around the metal, further oxygen cannot reach the metal because it is a shield. This ability of aluminum to make a thin film of aluminum oxide, which is non-porous, protects aluminum from further rusting. This phenomena is called passivity. What is it called? Aluminum, chromium, some metals have this ability to become passive. So in principle, they have more tendency to lose electrons, but they don't lose electrons to oxygen of air completely, as they make protective layers. What do they make? Protective layer. In the 13th group, gallium has lowest melting point. The lowest melting point of gallium is attributed to possible existence of gallium at Ga2. Its melting point is low, boiling point is very high. It means over a wide range of temperature, gallium exists like liquid. The only element that exists like liquid over a wide range of temperature is gallium. Hence, gallium is used in pyrometers. Pyrometer is a thermometer which can measure high temperatures. In boron aluminum family, boron is the only non-metal whose oxide is acidic. Aluminum gallium oxides are amphoteric, that they can react with acids as well as with bases of formula M2O3. In fact, lead oxide is also amphoteric, but it has more basic character. As you are going down the group, the metallic nature increases. The stability of highest group valency plus 3 decreases. Boron is the only element of the group that can make covalent bonds always. Aluminum compounds are surprising. AlCl3 is covalent in vapor phase.
Hello, mic testing 1.
Hello, AlCl3 is covalent in gas phase.
Yes.
But if you put it in water, immediately it becomes ionic. Like you are a boy when you are there as such, but if you are entering into certain water, you become girl. Oh my God. Is there any such water?
No, sir.
No.
In mythology, there are some ponds. In Greek mythology, in Indian mythology, if you take bath in that pond, urgently a male becomes female. Because of curse of some demigods. Like aluminum chloride is a covalent compound in an anhydrous state, but the moment you put it in water, it becomes ionic because of hydration energy. There are 3 questions on aluminum chloride. The 13 group elements as we said, they can make 3 bonds. For example, boron can make 3 bonds with 3 chlorines. Aluminum can make 3 bonds with 3 chlorines. Because they have only 3 electrons in the valence shell, they can make only 3 bonds. As per the octet rule, an atom tries to get, central atom tries to get 8 electrons after making bonds to get stability like noble gases. But unfortunately, in boron aluminum family, after making 3 bonds, they get only electron sextet, that is 6 electrons. In order to get stability like noble gases, they require 2 more electrons. To get stability like noble gases, as per octet rule. Yes, sir. Now the problem is they are readily willing to gain 2 electrons if there is any donor, like water, like ammonia. Fellows who accept electron pairs from donors so that they get octet of electrons, because they have empty orbitals which can accept electrons, are called Lewis acids. So all the halides of 30th group, like boron chloride, aluminum chloride, gallium chloride, indium chloride, all they are Lewis acids. In order to get octet of electrons, they want to take 2 electrons from donors. Now the problem is BCl3 or AlCl3, which is a better Lewis acid? What is your choice, sir? Hello.
AlCl3.
Let us look at this story. Aluminum chloride, which has just 6 electrons. 2 aluminum chlorides will come together, and this aluminum will take 2 electrons from neighboring aluminum chlorides, one of the Cls. And this aluminum also will take 2 electrons from the neighboring aluminum chlorides, one of the Cl atoms. It happens because every Cl atom after making a bond has 3 unpaired electrons, 3 lone pair of electrons. Due to this, aluminum chloride exists as 2 molecules together called a dimer. As the other chlorine of the neighboring AlCl3 is giving 2 electrons, it is somewhat happy because it got somewhat 8 electrons. Therefore, it doesn't have any urgent need to take electrons from somebody unless they are available. Therefore, AlCl3 is a less powerful Lewis acid than BCl. No doubt, AlCl3 is a Lewis acid. If there is somebody readily available, okay. See, a person is not married and he is looking for a bright girl. He is not able to get a bright girl. Somehow he is making mental happiness by looking at the neighbor's daughter. Somehow he is making some adjustments. It doesn't mean that that fellow is not going to marry forever. If a beautiful girl comes, he will immediately forget about neighbor's daughter and just enjoy with the new marriage. Yes or no? It's only time being adjustment. Aluminum chloride always exists as Al2Cl6 dimer because it tries to get a lone pair of electron from neighboring aluminum chlorides, one of Cls, in order to get octet. But it doesn't mean that aluminum chloride is not a Lewis acid. Aluminum chloride is a Lewis acid. It is a good Lewis acid. But it is not a good Lewis acid when compared with BCl3. In BCl3, this sigma is not there. BCl3 never exists like dimer. B2Cl6 cannot exist. Only BCl3 exists. Aluminum exists like Al2Cl6. Why the difference?
No MTP or
The problem is the boron atoms are very, very small. If the boron atom is very small boron atom cannot be surrounded by 4 big Cls. Not possible. The aluminum means that is a big atom relatively when compared with boron. It can take 4 Cls around it, but the smaller boron is not able to get surrounded by 4 Cls. Hence, boron cannot make B2Cl6. This is a standard question. Why aluminum chloride is Al2Cl6? Why boron chloride is only BCl3? Which is a better Lewis acid, BCl3 or AlCl3? BCl3. Now, one more question. Your time is ticking away. Do you have time, sir? Hello?
No, sir.
You have time?
No, sir.
You have boron trifluoride, boron trichloride, boron tribromide, boron triiodide. Auntie, boy, chutney, donkey. Which is a better Lewis acid?
BI3.
Standard answer is Bi3 is a better Lewis acid. BF3 is a poor Lewis acid because of back bonding. What is back bonding? The boron and fluorine atoms are of same period, second period. They have comparable atomic radii. When boron is crying with 6 electrons, one of the fluorine atoms may donate lone pair of electrons into empty orbital of boron. This back bonding makes BF3 less acidic. But if you look at boron, trichloride, bromide, and iodide, as the size of the atom is increasing, back bonding will become impossible. Therefore, there is almost no back bonding in Bi3. No back bonding means boron must be taking electrons from other donors. Therefore, Bi3 is a better Lewis acid. Okay. You need to study this chapter thoroughly using NCERT book, especially how aluminum is made. You should notice that aluminum is most abundant element in the family. You should note that thallium is the only element that has positive electron potential. Gallium is the only element that has lowest melting point. Boron is the only element with the highest melting point due to covalent network structure. Boron makes only acidic oxide. Other fellows make amphoteric oxides. Most of the compounds of boron are covalent. Aluminum and all can make ionic compounds in aqueous solution. All this data you should study. You should also notice how electronegativity values are changing in this group. Boron is most electronegative. Aluminum is least electronegative. Then electronegativity is increased from aluminum to thallium. So it is a strange pattern. Should show the table. You prepare this lesson completely today. Tomorrow, largely, I want to address your doubts. Okay, are we very clear? You have to read this lesson. You should give me 3 hours for reading the lesson today. If you read the 13th group and 14th group, sometimes you are getting 1 question in IITG out of 25. This is the easiest chapter that simply gives you 1 correct answer, 4 marks. Therefore, I want you to read this thoroughly. Get me your doubts tomorrow. I will have a lot of time to clarify all your doubts. I have no other work. Attending to your needs is the only work I have. Therefore, anytime you can put me a query, I try to answer it. God bless you. I want you to get IITG. No second thought. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now your next class time is ticking away. I can't take more of your time. God bless you, children. Meeting you tomorrow. God bless you.